you'll have to see about this thing. Okay. Hi. How's everybody doing? I'm so glad to see you. Are y'all getting along? Good, I hope. I'm just very discombobulated lately. You know, the last few videos I did, we're just all kind of, oh, I have help, let's do this today, or, you know, just say hello, and nothing in order. This probably should have been before everything, but I can't do anything in order. It's supposed to be right now. We've had an awful lot going on around here, as I think y'all probably can tell. I want to thank everybody so much for all the cards and prayers and well wishes and all the good stuff. My goodness, I don't know. Y'all just surprised me. I'm overwhelmed. I'm overjoyed. Happy. Can't wait to get started on some of it. And I'll show y'all that in just a few minutes. But kind of wanted to talk a little bit about what has been going on here. I'm sorry, I'm trying to find the volume thingy. See, I told you, it's going right now. I can't put this up here. Have a look at the ceiling for a minute, okay? Oh my goodness. Not working? I don't know. We'll see. My son tells me you have to holler, Mama. I can't hear you. But he's deaf. So. Okay. If I knew how to edit, I'd edit all that out. But I really am glad to be back, and I hope this will turn out to be halfway reasonable. My time in the hospital was not pleasant. It was a surprise. I was sick, and I went to urgent care because I couldn't see my regular doctor. He sent me right to the hospital. They hooked me up with antibiotics and fluids. I was dehydrated. I had a very bad case of bladder infection again and diverticulitis, and just had been sick and sick and sick, and I've had so much of that lately. And anyway, went to the hospital and they did all that. The next morning, and I don't know if they do this in your part of the country, but here in Mobile, which is where we go to the doctors, so many of the places use a hospitalist doctor. The doctors don't visit their patients in the hospital anymore. So I'm just not sure if that's done everywhere. But in this case, it was not a very good experience. The next morning, the doctor came in and she said, well, we're going to send you home. There's nothing wrong with you. I said, really? She said, yeah. She said, your CT scan was perfect. There was nothing wrong. And I said, well, you know, that's kind of funny because they didn't do it. And she said, yes, they did. I said, no, they didn't. I think I would know if somebody put another IV in my arm and put dye in me and then put me in that tube. And she looked at the nurse like, help me out here, you know. But she said, just a minute. So she came back and she said, oh, they usually call me if anything's wrong. I don't know what happened. They just forgot to order it, I guess. I said, well, that's kind of funny. You didn't know about all of this. And so she was discombobulated too. She didn't know what to do. She said, oh, wait 2 hours. We'll do it. We'll be through. We'll wait 2 hours. You wait. I said, no. I said, I don't really trust you now, so I'm gonna go on home and make some appointments with my regular doctors and um, my neurologist. No, he would do it too, but my urologist would do it, which he did. So anyway, we'll get off of that. Everything is still, I'm better. I'm not completely well. I have been to all the doctors, have another one to go to Monday with some results of another test he did, and it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. We've got too many other things to be concerned about right now, and I'm feeling better. I guess just being this much older, and when you get something as bad as I had, it takes a little while longer to get over sometimes. So I'm just, trying to take care and get a little rest. I've got a little stitching done, not a great deal, but I'm happy with what's happened. But anyway, since then, Pop has been having more angina, more what he calls Charlie horses in his chest. So he has been taking nitro for that. And I'm really careful not to hit him in the arm after that. I don't want to blow him up. Just a stupid little joke, but anyway, I've got to make fun of all of it, don't we? But he's in general, he's feeling pretty good until we've had some difficulty with not the hospice people themselves, but the people that keep track of their patients, who have decided that he is no longer eligible for hospice, which is just, what? What now? So we have been in appeals. We're waiting on the results of another one. They probably will drop him, but there's other things that we can do, and we'll just have to see which would be the best way for us to go and handle this. We've had such good care from our hospice people, and they are so kind and good to us and so helpful, and they are so concerned about us, not only him but me too, and it's just a blessing. It really is just a blessing. They're right here. And he keeps saying, so you're kicking me out, huh? You don't want to come see me anymore. And of course that makes them feel bad, because they love to come visit with him and talk to him and hear some of his stories and watch some of the cowboys with him. So there's where we are. We also have had some land business to take care of, and I'm not good at doing stuff like that. Two of our children that live here help us with that, but they're so busy with their jobs and what they have to do. It's just hard to keep up with everything. So I really didn't feel like talking for a long time, and then I just really didn't know what to say. So I thought right now, and I didn't know how long this would be before somebody else came in and I had to stop, but I just had to try to get on here and tell you a little bit about it. But it's going to be all right whichever way. If we don't have any hospice or home health or anything, we will do what we can do like we did before we got it. I do have more help in the house with Kelly that you didn't see her the other day, but she's the one that was videoing the den. She's such a sweet young lady, and she's going to be around for a while, and she comes more often now too, which is really nice for us. So I'm telling you, people, let me see if I can keep this from falling off of here, because I have to show you something. to all of you who sent cards. I just appreciate that so much. Um, it's just wonderful. Um, Lori, Mischievous, I hope I said that right. Stitches, a very kind card. The Pfeiffer family, Ivana, as you know how sweet she is too. She sent a very nice card. I appreciate everybody thinking about me. Marlene and Nicole. Buckeye Stitches. I love her to death. I hate I forgot what she Oh gosh, you can tell. And I also had a birthday in there too, if I didn't say anything about that before. So, Marlene, you can say 71 now, but I'm still older than you. I'm 75. So you just wait a few more years. It's fun, isn't it? I want to show you something. Marlene gifted me with the most beautiful project bag that, to my way of thinking, is just too beautiful for that. I don't know if any of you remember many years ago that people used to make bags kind of like this to put their fine lingerie in. Well, this is too good for my Walmart brand too. But isn't this gorgeous? I love it. And look at the lace and the nice little fob. Let's see, where am I looking at? Goodness gracious, I'm so backwards. Look at that, isn't that cute? Little thing on there. Am I made you sick yet? That's so cute. Let me open it. See how pretty the inside is. Look at that fabric in there. Isn't that gorgeous? I love it. Love it, love it, love it. And it's the first one that I've got. I do have another project bag, but it's nothing like this. It was one I made when we were living in Saudi Arabia and I was coming home, and I had a pretty good sized project I wanted to bring on the plane. And I thought, I'm going to see what I can do to figure out some way to carry this. And I can't find it. I was looking for it too because I wanted to show you what a crude thing that was. Nobody else had done anything like that then. But I used 2 placemats and put them together the long way. They were oval, and made a flap over, and then put a long handle or a long strap so I could wear it over my shoulder and carry my purse and my carry-on. And that's, a long time ago, so it didn't matter so much with that. And of course, they let me carry my scissors. But it's so different than this, and this is just beautiful. I love it. And I will certainly put something in it. And I think that is just so very, very nice. Now, okay. And thank you, Marlene, for everything, for that, for thinking of me, for praying for us, and just keeping me in your thoughts. I appreciate it very, very much. I just can't tell you how much y'all mean to me. Nicole sent me a goodie. And I think this is so cute. I'll show you these 2 things first. She sent me two packages, or 2 little hanks of thread. This one is called Fathoms from Weeks Dye Works. I don't have anything to get in front of it. well, this, maybe this. It, I don't, you can't see it good. It's not going to show up good on that, is it? It's Fathom, and it's the prettiest blue over dyed. And it goes on, look what she sent. It goes on this heartstring sampler. You recognize it, Cross Stitch Nation. Isn't that neat? I know a lot of you are doing this, and the Fathom goes on his coat. She sent fabric to do that with, and I have not started it. I told her I was going to, but I have not started it because I'm not sure about the rest. And I wanted to ask y'all, I know that a lot of you are doing this, and I wanted to ask, I've seen it, but I didn't pay enough attention to remember who it was to go back and look again. And you told what you did it on and what flosses you used, and I know some of you use the ones that are called for, but I think somebody used DMC too. And if you hear this and you wouldn't mind commenting, I'd like to know. I've debated whether to order the rest of the flosses of this, but I'm just not sure. And I know somebody was changing some of the colors of the hair to be certain people they knew or something. I don't know. But anyway, tell me what you think. And this, I don't know why I had so much trouble thinking about Buckeye, but look what she found. This is the Gentle Art Buckeye Scarlet. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? And she said, when I use it, or when I see it and use it, I can think of her. Well, I think of her anyway, but this is just precious. I just think that is so neat. And then she sent this fabric, which is Heroic 14 count Aida. Can you see the... Now I'm not looking at y'all very well, so I hope you can see. Look how pretty that is. Something patriotic will go on there for sure. This is so neat. And it's so soft. This one and this next one is just so soft. It's 14 count Legacy Aida. It's just so soft. You reckon that is because they dye it or what? But anyway, look at that. Isn't that pretty? Can you see well enough, maybe? I hope. And then the next one, last one, is 14 count Vintage Country Mocha. And I think this is real pretty too. This one is not as soft, but it's, you know, it's not any stiffer than some of the rest of it, but look how pretty that is. Now, I'm not used to this fabric, you know, so I really be careful when I pick out what I'm going to do. But I think maybe this. I think that's what Nicole suggested, to do this on it. So probably do what she suggested. I did get something else too, but I just responded recently to the lady who sent it, and she's not a floss tuber, but I hope she will be one day. She is so sweet. She's been one of my subscribers and commenters, and she sent me a nice, totally surprising, just, what can I say? I just don't know what to say when people do something like that. But it's really, really nice. And I have asked her if I can show it and tell who did it, but I'm going to wait until she responds. I didn't know when I was going to do this or how it was going to work, so I'll wait. I can't wait to show you. Nicole, Marlene, everybody. Now what? I can just sit here and take it all in. Okay. But there's something something that brought me to thinking about I would talk a little bit about England, and I hope I've got enough time to do something about it anyway, but I wanted to get all this other in today and not, I know what it was. It was the two little videos about fall decorating and the old furniture from England. When we left Florida, when we left the Cape, 1963, yeah, we left a little bit early. We knew we were going to England, but we left the Cape a little bit early. My husband was supposed to be on temporary duty and going to school for something. So I decided to take the children and go up to Spokane, Washington, and stay with my mother and stepfather for a few months. As an only child, so to take 3 babies to live in their house for a couple months was just, I was fine. Oh, they were not used to that at all, but they were good sports. Anyway, we went up there, and they did very well, making us feel at home and fixing a place for us, and it was really nice. Anyway, he was supposed to be gone for a while, and it was going to be in Indianapolis, Indiana. So we drove from the Cape up there, and we had reservations and tickets and all to fly out of Chicago. So we drove to Indianapolis, and he saw where he was going to be, and then he drove us on up to Chicago and put us on the plane. That's a trip, believe me. It was straight to Spokane, but I've got 3 babies. 2 of them I have to carry. So that was quite a trip, but the stewardess was wonderful. This was back in '63. They put me where you've got the bulkhead, I guess is what it's called. So I had plenty of room in front of me too for all my diaper bags and, oh my gosh, all the stuff you have to carry. But I couldn't take on a stroller or car seats, which they did not have. except for that was kind of silly of me to even say that, wasn't it? Because the car seat we did have was like a few pieces of metal forming this thing with a very thin piece of plastic that went in the seat and had the little strip up between it for the kids to put their feet through, and it had the little wires that went over the seat itself. It was absolutely worthless. It just got them up a little bit higher, so you could maybe throw your arm out like you did and catch them or something. But no, we didn't have anything. Um, but we flew to Spokane. Um, my mother and stepfather were not there to pick us up. I don't remember what happened, but they were surprised we were there then. I don't know. So get off the plane, get the luggage and everything, find a taxi, tell them where I need to go. We get there, and everything goes along pretty smoothly for a while. And I got to see friends that I'd known earlier, and because I went to high school there, and that's where Papa and I met too, and married, and lived for about a year afterwards. So his school was canceled then, so he had to go back to the Cape um, on temporary duty. They didn't know where else to put him. I guess, I don't know. So he came when it was time. He came up to Spokane, and he had shipped our car and everything, and we had packed up months before that, and that was already gone. Just had what we had with us. So he came up to Spokane, and we decided to go spend a week on one of the pretty lakes up around Spokane, and there's Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, which is right close, but there's some beautiful lakes up there. So we decided to get a little cabin, and all five of us go to this lake and stay in this cabin for a week. And it was just so nice for us to be together again, and him spending time with the babies, And one thing about this cabin, and it was just precious. It was just the kind of thing you'd really like, the lake out front of the cabin, walk down to it, and we were, of course, keeping the kids real close, the ones that could walk, but they loved it too. It was just really nice, cool, like it is in Spokane at times, and that was towards the end of the summer, so it was real pleasant. But the thing about the cabin was it had a wood stove. And I know his mother and his grandmother cooked on wood stoves, but I never had cooked on a wood stove. My grandmother did too, and I saw it. And I saw other people do it, but, I never had done it. Well, luckily, he did know a little bit about it, even though he didn't want to admit it. And he never did admit to cooking anything after that till later, and I'll tell you about that one day. But he got the fire going, and he showed me what to do, and I had an idea, but I just didn't know about the temperature, but we didn't starve to death. We didn't catch on fire. We didn't catch the cabin on fire. Kids didn't get burned. We ate okay, but it was a good time and good for all of us. So we went back to Spokane for a few days and visited, and then it was time to head out to Newark, New Jersey. This was the first leg of our trip overseas to England. So we loaded up all of our kids and all of our luggage, and at midnight boarded a train that we were going to take to Chicago and then to Newark, New Jersey. Midnight. We were supposed to be all seated together. We get on No. Mister and the two boys have to go back in the next car, and you sit right here. So I had Charlene, our oldest daughter, and the poor lady beside me. She was so nice and very kind about us disturbing her at midnight with the baby and all of our paraphernalia that we needed. And he had to take the boys and go back to the next car. We did get a little sleep, as I remember, and the next day, when it got daylight and everything, I took her back there and we saw where he was, and we were finally able to get all the seats together, which were a big help because we had our seats and then the seats facing us, so we could play like we were camping out, which we were. That took 4 days, I think, to go that far. Something happened to our tickets when they were collected on the way to Chicago. When we got there, we had no more tickets, so we had to get off. Of course, we had to get off anyway to make another connection. But we had to buy tickets again. And, we're service. It's, you just don't have a lot of extra money sitting around. You do the best you can, but we had to buy tickets from Chicago to Newark, and that ride was a lot better. I can't remember too much about it except trying to keep diapers clean. They were wet, but I was trying to wash them out and clean them and keep them clean and keep them occupied and settled, and so it really was a trip, but it's still memorable, something we just did, and we kind of enjoyed it. We got to sit on the train, and besides watching them, we we got to watch all the stuff out the windows. Don't call anybody and have me committed yet. I want to do some more of this. And the train station in Chicago was really neat too. We got to walk around and look at that, and that was exciting. Anyway, got to Newark, New Jersey, got off, got to the base. Our plane wasn't leaving for a few days. I don't remember if something happened or they had to use it for something else or what, but they got us in temporary quarters, and first thing we did, of course, was we wanted everybody to have a good bath and get cleaned up, and then the next thing we had to do was wash clothes and diapers. And there was no disposable anything then, and I really considered throwing those diapers away, and I probably should have, after all this time thinking about it, but all I could think of was, where am I going to get some more? And I can't throw away that much money, those cloth diapers. But it was horrible trying to contain them too, and not be such a stinky mess to everybody else. I mean, I washed them, but still, and I washed the babies and washed us. But you worry about all that stuff, and then trying to keep bottles clean, because they all three had a bottle. The oldest one was not willing enough to give it up, and I didn't want to do too much to upset, because we had this long trip, and we still had the flight to England, and then to get sorted out when we got there. So we finally got on the plane, midnight again, walking out to the plane, and it was all service people going to England. So they were, the ones by themselves and all were happy to pick a kid up and carry it to the plane, because it was, you're trying to get get out there with everybody and all your stuff. And it was a pretty good flight, you know. It was long, and it was 63. It was an old plane by today's standards, and but we made it okay. We just piled them all on top of us over 3 seats, and we slept the best we could, and you know, they played a little bit, and that was it. When we got to England now, it was daylight. Imagine that. Daylight. And we got off the plane near Lakenheath in England. And after a little while, he found out that we were being diverted to London, to a base near London, but not to Lakenheath where he thought we were going to go. But we went through customs there, which was not a big deal until Pop, you know, he's got to do something. Till he says they've already cleared all of our personal stuff, you know, and he says, what do you do if you got a gun? Knowing full well you are not to carry a gun into England? I had to go outside and get on the bus with those 3 babies. And they took him in the back. They're always taking him away from me. When I really need him, they were always taking him away from me. We sat on that bus for a while, and of course the kids had been on the plane. They had eaten and everything, but they were still restless, hungry, tired, and we still had a long bus ride to get into London to stay at a guest house, you know. So after a little bit, can you see my frustration still? So after a little bit, I go back. I said, would y'all please watch these kids for just a minute? I need to go back in because the bus driver was wanting to leave. I said, I cannot go without him. I don't know where I'm going, what I'm supposed to do, who's going to do what, you know. So I run back in there, and about that time, here he comes. I said, what in the world is going on? The bus driver's trying to leave. I don't know what to do. And he told me. He said, I said, what do you do if you got a gun? I said, you and that. I said, well, what did they do about it? He said, well, they kept it, and they're going to send it back home to my mother. I said, well, good. That's where it should have stayed. We got on that bus, and it was a long trip. But I didn't let him forget it either. Everybody was laughing. Oh, gosh. Just another one of the things that go on with him and what we did in our travels and everything. And I'll tell you some more later on about the rest of it, but that was our entrance. Oh, you can imagine. He was real nice for a little while after that. Oh, man. Well, I don't want my time to run out, and it is running a little bit longer. I don't know how much it'll go, so I better quit. But I hope y'all enjoyed seeing some of our things in the one room, my grandmother's paintings, my aunt's paintings, and Buckeye Stitcher Nicole. Those little cubby holes in that desk were a lot of fun for our kids growing up, too. You never knew what you were going to find in there. And there is supposed to be a hidden area. And I can't remember if one of them found it, but I don't remember where it is if they did. But, yeah. And the handle, if you saw me trying to pick it up, it's so heavy, but the one handle, one of the knobs, was the only one left. We've got the other one, but it's not put on there. But those are so old, and the way they did it, with the wood, with a solid piece of wood, was the part that goes in the desk is a wooden screw. And you hold that thing and you screw it in there. Isn't that neat? They're all so pretty. We enjoyed them so much, and we enjoyed hunting all of these things and looking for them. And so I'll tell you more about that too another time. But I'm so glad to see y'all again. And I want to continue doing this as long as I can, and I hope y'all will put up with me and overlook all of my mistakes and all of the things I do that are kind of kooky. That's me. But I love y'all. Hope to talk to you again soon. Y'all take care. And just get some stitching done. I'll show you next time what I got done. Maybe it won't be too long. Love ya. Bye.